Hi, everyone. We're here in Cockerton doing another one of our programs for My Dog and Me. And this time I am with Laura Andersons, who owns the, I have to look this up, Ninkasi Siberians.
Yes.
Okay, question number one, what is Ninkasi?
So Ninkasi was the name of my first Siberian Husky. And when I got my first Husky, the year that I got her was a year that they had dug up tablets in Sumeria. And when they translated these tablets, it was translated as the Hymn to Ninkasi, which ended up being the first world's known recipe for beer.
I like that.
It was just the name of the first dog.
I would have picked that too.
And because she was my first Siberian, as we started getting more Siberians and started doing more with them, it became my kennel name. So now the history, the love that I had for my first dog is carried on through every other dog I have.
And the love that you have for beer is in Ninkasi.
Yeah.
Okay, something like that. Hey, on my piece of paper it says Ninkasi Siberians. First question, what's the difference between a Siberian and a Husky and all the other choices that I have?
Right. So a Siberian Husky obviously runs the purebred pedigree of the Siberian Husky. They go back to the tribes that brought the dogs into the United States. They have a long pedigree history going, and I'm going to have to look this up, and you'll have to ask me this in a little bit.
No, that's all right.
Okay.
Well, whatever.
But that particular breed, it holds the pedigree for a long time. So what happened is that there were the Malamutes, the Alaskan Malamutes, that look a lot like a Siberian Husky, but they are bigger. They have a denser coat, they have bigger bone, they're a much heavier dog, and they're more of a freighting dog. This is
What's freighting?
Freighting as in they will pull larger sledges with a lot of weight on it, where the Siberian Husky was meant to go faster over longer distances when they're running. When we talk about an Alaskan Huskies have their own set of pedigrees. They are not an AKC recognized purebred dog, but to those that are running them, to those that are developing pedigrees for racing like the Iditarod or the Quest, these people are looking for dogs that carry a particular pedigree and a particular desire to run and a speed of running and an endurance. So they have their own set of pedigrees, just not an AKC recognized. There's not really a standard to the Alaskan Husky, as in the AKC, we have a standard for the Siberian Husky. So there's a standard in height, there's a standard in colors, there's a standard in how it's structured, how it moves, the eyes, the head, the ears, the coat, and everything else.
When you go to, if I see one at one of the shelters or a rescue or something, what are those dogs? Just, I mean, someone says there are Huskies here. They could be any combination of what you just said.
They can be. A lot of times people will say, oh, it's a Husky because it has pointy ears, a thick coat, and a slightly curled tail. And so because Siberian Huskies can come in so many colors, and this one is a red, you can see the black and white, you can see a gray and white, you can see things that look more wolf gray colored. Because they come in so many colors and varieties, when somebody sees something that says, oh, it looks like a Husky, it must be a Husky, it must be a Siberian Husky. It's a very generic, Husky is very generic for something that looks like this.
And what, is there one color that's more common than others?
So in our breed, the gray is actually the dominant gene.
Okay.
Gray is dominant over black. Red is the most recessive of the genes as far as colors.
What's this one's name?
Cagney. This is Cagney, yeah.
Okay, Cagney.
And Cagney's 9 years old, and she's what we would call a red and white.
Okay, and the breeds, how much do they normally weigh?
So the females will run about 35 to 45 pounds.
Oh, is that all? Oh, I think they're a little bit heavier than that.
No, I mean, she's a little chunky because she's been spayed and she's a senior, so she's holding the weight a little bit more, so she'll probably be closer to the 45-pound size. The males will run about 45, maybe to 65 pounds. We typically do not see them much larger than that. The dogs obviously should be kept in a manner where they're not carrying a lot of extra weight, you know, so.
What are the conditions that they're most prone to health-wise?
So health-wise in Siberian Huskies, the good news is they're pretty much a healthy breed. As far as hip dysplasia goes, we don't see a lot of that because those of us that are running our dogs obviously don't want dogs that are going to have prone issues with hip dysplasia and whatnot. So we have not been seeing that. We have not been seeing a lot of elbow problems and stuff in the breed. What we do see in the breed are juvenile cataracts.
Okay.
And the interesting thing about a juvenile cataract is that, you know, we are working on the genome for it, for Siberian Huskies, but we have yet to find out what exactly is the genetic match. So all of us that are in a reputable breeding program, if our dogs have juvenile cataracts, we choose not to breed those dogs because we don't want to pass them on. The juvenile cataracts don't necessarily cause future blindness. They're just an opacity in the lens. We're still working on the genome for that. The other thing we will see in the breed is epilepsy. Now, again, we watch for that when we're breeding our dogs. We keep an eye on multiple generations, on siblings. When we start seeing any cases of epilepsy coming off, we breed out of it as much as possible. Obviously, we are not gods. We can't predict everything genetically, but if we are doing our research, we can reduce the indices of that occurring in the breed.
What color eyes do they have? That's all, they always talk about the blue eyes.
Yes, yes.
Do they all?
This one has brown. Actually, she has more of an amber colored eye.
Oh, yeah, she does.
Yeah, so we can see them in any shade of brown, from an amber.
And that has nothing to do with anything?
No, no. So the blue eyes do exist in the breed. We see something that's called bi-eyed, where you can have one blue and one brown eye.
I saw that recently.
And I actually have a dog that I can show you later that is what we call party-eyed. So he has a blue eye, and then he has a brown eye with a wedge of, of blue in it, and that's called party-eyed.
Well, now that I'm here at your facility, and eventually we'll get our cameraman to span this whole thing, what all do you do for these guys? What's your background in dealing with these, and what are you going to show me today?
Okay, well, first of all, you know, we are hobby breeders, so we will occasionally have litters a couple of times a year, but our primary goal is to keep going and showing the dogs. We love to show our dogs. So we'll go to AKC dog shows. This dog here is an AKC champion. She also has a rat barn hunting title.
Oh, does she?
Yes.
Okay, good. I know what that is.
Yeah, so she's done barn hunting.
I can't find anybody who wants to film that. I'd like to film that sometime.
Oh, yeah, there's a barn hunt not far from here.
I know there is. We'll have to deal with that sometime.
But she likes to barn hunt, so she likes looking for rats in the hay. She is sled dog titled. She actually ran lead on my sled dog team. She's retired now because she's 9. But we run sled dog races in the wintertime. We train our dogs in the wintertime. A lot of the dogs that we have bred are also participating in other performance events. 2 of our dogs this year made the top 10 in the AKC Invitationals for agility. They were dog number 4 and dog number 5 this year.
Oh, wow.
And last year they were dog number 3 and dog number 4. So 2 of the dogs we bred are doing that. There is rally obedience that you can do. My first Siberians, I competed in competition obedience and agility, and I loved doing that. So I actually had obedience titled Siberian Huskies. Believe it or not, they are very trainable if you know how to train them. And then what else do we do with them? Sled dog racing, barn hunts.
So you breed them, show them, race them, groom them?
Oh, lots of grooming.
I know.
Lots of grooming. This is only a little bit of hair.
You live with dog hair. Some people always say, people know that I have a collie, and there's a collie shed. I say, here's how we eat a hot dog. Dog hair. It's on everything in my house.
I always tell people that if you're going to get an Siberian Husky, you have to embrace the fur. If you're worried,
I'll remember that when I'm brushing.
if you're worried about hair on your clothes, hair on your carpet, hair in your food, don't get a Siberian. It's just not a
There's
bad.
a lot of breeds you just don't want.
Yeah.
What do you want? You want attention. As soon as we stop petting, we get the paw.
Oh yeah. She is an attention hound. A lot of the dogs that we breed, we try to breed for a really good temperament. Okay, you know, obviously these dogs are pretty healthy and whatnot, but you also want one with a good temperament. We raise all of our dogs with something called puppy culture. And the nice thing about puppy culture is it's basically a series of exercises where we introduce our dogs in the puppy stage to various forms of stimuli, sounds, and whatnot. I've had a guy here for the past couple of days working on a construction project inside the house. He's had the saws running, the hammers. They don't care. The actuating hammer that sounds like a shotgun. The puppies are just sitting there looking around.
I noticed when I first knocked on the door over there, they could have cared less.
No, they don't.
Now, whenever we went in, they barked, but whenever we just went over and knocked on the door, it wasn't like, you know, all of them were going crazy at one time.
No. So they, you know, they tend to be a quieter breed of dogs in the sense that they're not barking constantly, but if they get excited, they can get very, very loud.
Right. Then they
howl,
a lot of howling.
sing, yip, scream.
One of the reasons that I wanted to come down here and talk to Laura was that I'm not necessarily that knowledgeable about Huskies. And second of all, I'm probably not that good of a trainer to have a Husky, but I know a lot of people, and we want to talk about this as we're going on today, have Huskies and shouldn't have them because they require a lot of attention, they require a lot of grooming, they require a lot of place to run and play outside. They're not the apartment. Shouldn't have an apartment and have a Husky. You can unless you have a place to take them and run them every day.
Yeah, I mean, we've had people that have had apartments in New York City, for that matter, with a Siberian Husky. But these were people that went jogging every day.
Okay, there you go.
That would take their dogs for long walks. And I don't necessarily recommend dog parks. And you know, as much as dog parks are a great resource for people to play with their dogs, while my dog can be very well behaved with other dogs, not every dog is well behaved.
As we well know.
Yeah, in the dog park. And so, you know, people come with the dogs that aren't socialized enough with others and can cause issues. And Siberians like to play rough, and not a lot of dogs like to play rough. No. So you can have an apartment. I think the biggest thing is securing a yard. You know, a lot of people who have come to us, you know, I've got a 3-foot picket fence. Well, we've got Siberians that will jump over a 3-foot picket fence. 4-foot fences, they will climb over. This here is a 6-foot chain link fence. It's all the way down tight to the ground. If we have any issues with trying to dig out, we have a little device, it's called a dig defense, that we'll put down, and it'll bury 8 inches to the ground so that they can't go around and dig underground.
I need to find that or have one of those because I have a Shih Tzu that gets out constantly at my house.
Yeah, and actually I can grab, if you can go grab one of the dig defense devices. Yeah. This is actually really a good device for anybody with any breed of dog for helping to prevent the digging. So, you know, we don't recommend a tie out. Remember, these are sled dogs. They pull. They have a lot of strength and power here.
And who's handing the fence to us here?
This is my husband, Romil. Say hi, Romil.
Yeah, hello. Hi.
So this is steel. It's called Dig Defense.
And you can buy them just like that.
You buy them just like this, and the company is actually named Dig Defense. And you actually put these right up in, a little bit of weaving through the chain link, and put it all the way down. You can use it on your PVC panel fencing. You know how a lot of times you get the PVC panel and you have a little gap? This can fill in that little bit of a gap so you don't have any issues.
This would also keep my Shih Tzu.
It would
where he belongs.
Yes, it would keep a lot of breeds where they belong.
He goes in and out the same hole, so it's a convenience.
Yeah, so it's really good. Thank you.
Okay, well now what do we want to look at next? Where are we going next?
We could do some grooming.
Okay.
Or do you want to do a little bit of a puppy play, random video with some puppy play and meet some puppies?
Let's do grooming first.
Okay.
Then we'll start meeting all the dogs.
Let's pause for a moment.
We've already met, what's this one? Cagney, right?
Cagney, yep.
Okay.
All right, Spock, come on up.
All right, we're moving on now to the grooming, and what I want Laura to tell us about is what is the important things in grooming, and then we're going to talk about if you are the person who's not the breeder and someone who's not the professional user of the Huskies and that, what are the 5 things that you can take care of that are easy to do?
Right, right.
Okay, and what do we have here? We have the grooming table, of course. We've got a towel on it, and we've got...
Yeah, this is the grooming arm. The nice thing about the grooming arm is that the dog's head stays in position. Yeah. I always use the rule, if you can control the head, you can control the dog.
So I tell them in therapy work too.
Yeah.
If you control the head, we don't have to worry about where anything else is happening.
Exactly, exactly.
And who is this?
This is Spock. Spock is 8 years old.
Like Dr. Spock?
Dr. Spock.
Oh,
actually,
okay.
you know, like Spock from Star Trek.
That's who I mean, my favorite.
Yeah, yeah. And he was named after Spock because that was the year there was a bunch of Star Trek things. Leonard Nimoy passed away, and so we went with so we went with the Star Trek theme. Fan. So yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, his registered name is Ninkasi. It's only logical.
Very good,
yep.
Dr. Spock.
Yep, and he has his grand championship. He is a sled dog titled dog. He's also got a barn hunt title. He's got trick dog titles. And he is
You're a jack of all trades.
Yeah, and he's the sire of a number of champions already. And so,
wow.
Yeah, he's a...
Okay, what are we doing here? Besides, we've got I'm very much at home here. I have a dog here at my house.
Well, this is actually a very minor amount of hair. So, you know, when the Siberian starts to shed, you'll start seeing little tufts coming out, and you can actually pluck them.
Can you de-shed them?
So I do.
Do you?
But I use a blower, and I don't have the blower here right now, but I can bring the blower out if you like.
I just was mentioning that as something that can be done.
Yeah, typically, I know he likes to be groomed, by the way. He just loves the attention. My favorite tool is this one here. It's the same thing essentially as this comb. The thing with this comb is that, you know, for me
hard to hold on to.
Well, me getting older, it's a little hard. Okay, like it. Never ever use a Furminator on a Siberian Husky. And the reason for that is because it'll actually go through and it'll cut the guard hair. The Siberian has two coats. They have their outer coat, which is their guard hair. And the guard hair is what keeps this undercoat fluff, which thank goodness is not too much of it, but keeps this undercoat fluff from matting up, and the undercoat fluff is like the down in your down jacket.
Okay.
And then the outer coat just keeps it all standing out straight, and this creates the insulation for the body. If you use a Furminator, you cut this guard hair, and it'll take over a year to get that guard hair back. Never shave a Siberian Husky.
Never shave any dog.
Never shave any dog. But
I can't stand people.
You know, there are some breeds that have a cut that you trim them down to like a short distance.
My dogs go to a groomer, my Shih Tzu and my Lhasa and that, but people say, I'm going to take my Golden Retriever and I'm going to shave them. I say, you've got to be nuts.
No, you're not supposed to shave them. Really, you know, the fur also protects them from the heat, okay, because dogs don't sweat. The only place that they lose heat are in their paws and on their bellies. Okay, so if you're worried about your dog being overheated, you can get the belly shaved to expose the belly a little to help them lose the heat from their body. But honestly, if you just put down a kiddie pool and let them wade in the kiddie pool, throw a bag of ice in it, you're going to make a happy Siberian Husky.
Okay, so we're going to brush this. Let's give us 5 minutes of good grooming here.
Yeah. So this particular rake with these kind of teeth, it's kind of hard to find this thing, but this is one of my favorites.
I have one that's a little bit smaller than that. Same idea, exact same tool.
And then what I like to do is I like to push the hair up and then do what we call line combing and then work our way up the dog. And I'll try to do this so we can, basically what you're doing is you're pushing the hair up and you're working your way up the dog. Now the nice thing about grooming your pet, Siberian, anything else, and this will actually get the hair out, believe it or not, is that you can look at the skin as you're doing this and say, okay, does my dog have any parasites? Does it have any ticks? Does it have any open wounds? With a Siberian, and I will see if he has a lot of coat coming out here or not.
He sure does.
He's got some. So if I get down at the tail, I can get some of this stuff out of the tail here. And you'll actually see the fur coming out. Now when they're shedding, we can get a huge pile like this of hair coming out of the dog. So obviously if you have issues with hair, this is not a breed for you. No. But at the same time, you know, we've had people that are friends of ours that'll spin this into a wool and make themselves a hat or a mitten or something.
They've really done that?
Yeah, they've really done that. So it's important to do that. The other reason it's important to fully rake through, when you do this, you want to get all the way down to the skin. Okay, we do slow strokes. You don't want to do this because this creates anxiety and the dog gets all excited. Thank God Spock is not an excitable dog. But if you take your time and you get down and if you find a knot, you just push the hair back and you work your way up. And you can do this a little at a time, and you'll see it actually unworks the knot.
And that's the brush that you use most of the time when you're grooming?
This is my favorite tool because I can grip it with my hand and it's easy. Right. To get the surface coat, we have a slicker. And this one here, it'll just grab the stuff off the surface that's all that loose hair, and it's really easy to get off. The slicker is a great tool if you have dog fur on your floor mats or something. You can take the dog hair out with the slicker. We use that all the time.
Sounds like my plan. I do it all the time.
Yeah. So Siberians, those that are not neutered or spayed will usually shed twice a year. When they shed, they might shed in 2 phases. The first phase will be the initial loosening of the fur, and then in the summertime, I will get a second shed where it'll just lose just about everything. And all you'll see is guard hairs, and you'll think my dog looks scraggly, but that's normal for them. A dog that is spayed or neutered, because they lack the hormones, they may hold their coat longer, and it may be harder to get the coat out. Yes. And just like his sister Cagney, he likes to be pet.
If I'm just a normal person that has one of these dogs, how often should I groom my dog?
So I would, when you get a Siberian, I would be grooming them at least once a week to get them used to the idea of doing that. Okay, that's really the important thing. These are not a breed that you have to bathe frequently. So when we talk about grooming, most of this is just, hey, let me just take a little slicker to you while I'm watching my TV. And you can sit there and you can watch your TV show and you can sit here like this. And eventually the dog will associate this with a good feeling, good behavior, and you want to get down to the tail. The other thing that we watch for in Siberians, especially during the shed, if you don't get down to that coat, to the skin, it'll get matted up down there. And as you're petting the dog, you'll feel a lump. And that lump has the potential of forming a hot spot behind it. And that's moist dermatitis. So if it's hot and humid outside, you're actually going to see that moist dermatitis forming. And if you feel for it and you rake through it and everything else, you're not going to have any problems with hot spots on your dogs. Collars that are too tight on them will form hot spots underneath. We actually use, and I'm going to show this here.
Yeah. What do you have, a training? Is that a showing collar?
Well, this is just a general collar we have on them. Obviously, my dogs are all microchipped, so I don't have ID tags on the dogs. Easy, Spock. This is what we call a limited slip collar. So it has a limited slip to it, so the dogs can't back.
Is that the same as a martingale?
It's similar to a martingale. The martingale usually has another section to it. Martingales and limited slips are the best. Regular buckle collars, they can slip their head out of. The buckle can break. This one, these are made by White Pine. All of us that show dogs, this is our most common collar to put on a dog because it doesn't mat the coat. And it's easy for us to get off. And again, my dogs are all microchipped, so if they do get loose, I have a permanent ID on them.
Right.
So again, getting down there, getting that mat out, that's really, really important.
Okay, so I can do that as an owner, and I can get some of the mats out. We noticed that we have a Dremel here. Let's talk a little bit about doing the nails.
So when I do the nails with my dogs, I don't like using a clipper, because a lot of times the clipper, the dogs tend to be more reactive to them. So we find that we use, this is a rechargeable Dremel tool. You can adjust the speed on it. And we'll just take and we'll look for the white part of the nail, and his is actually a little long here. You can see the little tip on that.
Right.
And so what we'll do is we'll just Dremel this down till you get down to that point here. And the nice thing about a Dremel is that the dogs are just like, oh, okay, you're Dremeling my nail. And you have to get your dogs used to this sound. You just don't pull out a Dremel and say, I'm going to Dremel your toenails. But we try to go through and get them all the way down to the quick, and the quick is where that blood will come out if you go too far back. And with a Dremel, you can see how far you're going, and you can stop easier. With the clippers, if the dog jerks its foot, you could get too far and you could get the quick, and you end up with blood on the toenail.
What about their ears? Do I have to do anything about these ears? They've got up ears, which is better than the down, of course.
Yeah, they have up ears, but we do still regularly check their ears. I mean, they'll get a little gunky in there every now and then. They love to dig. Siberians love to dig. We've had holes, 2 feet deep in the yard, because they'll get down in that hole where the cool ground is and lay in it, and they're as happy as anything, So if we end up with a lot of dirt in the ears from digging, we do want to make sure that we get that out. As far as the teeth go, we give our dogs, and I can show you some of these later, we give them Benabones, we give them...
My favorite toy for a dog, Benabone.
Yeah, the Benabone, we give them the water buffalo horns. And those are really good about keeping the teeth clean. So this dog is 8 years old, he's got beautiful white teeth, and he's never had them cleaned.
So did Cagney.
Yes.
I noticed her teeth.
She's 9 years old and never had teeth cleaning because she's been chewing on those bones.
Yeah. Let's go over, have the cameraman go over that way. Well, let's take this one down and go over and show just what that booster bath looks like.
So what I have here is a booster bath. They come with a set of stairs. If you have a dog that'll jump up in, that's helpful. They come with a buckle that you can put around the dog's neck so that they're attached to the tub while you're washing them. The drain that you see there, you could just have the water drain out of the back of the tub, anywhere in a draining ditch or whatever you have, or just let it run in your yard. So our dogs, Spock, he likes baths, but we're not going to give him a bath now because then I'll be soaking wet. Come on, Spock.
We will all be soaking wet.
Up. Good boy. And we'll put him in the booster bath. And then when we wash the dogs, what we like to do is soak the coat completely. And then we have drink water bottles, if you hand me that. The drink water bottle will have our diluted shampoo. This makes it a lot easier to get the shampoo on the dog. So you lift the leg, you start here, you squirt the shampoo down, you get the shampoo in here, and here, and here, and you get it everywhere you need. And then you just work it all into the coat and suds it all up. When you rinse the dog, you need to get every bit of soap out. Yeah, because otherwise, again, when you don't, you could create irritation. Irritation can lead to hot spots. After you wash the dog, you completely dry the dog. This is where the high power blower comes in. Yep. And I will set up a high power.
Expensive but worthwhile.
It is definitely worthwhile. It's also worth just taking them to a groomer to do it. If you don't have the tools to do it the right way, pay the money for a groomer. They do an excellent job. They really know how to work through problems with the dog, so you're not getting frustrated with your dog if they're not sitting nicely like Spock is for a groom. They know how to work through problem dogs. And really, Siberians, their biggest thing when they're getting groomed is, you know, protesting. You know, it's like, I don't want to get washed. And they scream and they howl and they sing the whole time. And for an owner, that can be stressful. For a groomer, they're like, oh, that's just a husky.
Right. Just pay no attention. Okay, we're going to stop there, and we're going to go now and look at some other dogs and some other parts of your facility.
Okay, well, let's do that.
How many dogs do you have here, Laura?
Right now I have 18 adults, and I have one litter of 4 puppies.
Okay. How many puppies are usually in a litter for Huskies?
Huskies can have anywhere from 4 to 8 on average. I think most people see 4 to 6. They can be as small as 1 puppy. It just all depends on whether or not you time it correctly in the progesterone cycle.
And how old are they whenever you let somebody get one?
By law, you can never let a puppy go before it's 8 weeks of age.
I know, but people do that. They let them go, and they should. It is against the law in Pennsylvania.
It is against the law.
Is it a federal law or state
It's against the law in most states, as far as I know. Usually a breeder that will let a dog go before 8 weeks of age is somebody that just doesn't want to deal with the extra expense and time involved with raising. Now, 8 weeks of age is a very good learning age, but it's also an age where you can imprint the wrong information. A lot of breeders that we've seen that are like backyard puppy mill, it's like, oh, I'm done with this. I can't clean the poop up anymore. I'm done. You know, I just can't do it. When they let them go at about 6 weeks of age to before 8 weeks of age, the dog is missing out on so much learning. They're missing out on the bite inhibition training. Oh, God, yes. They're missing out on a lot of socialization opportunities. And so you end up with a dog that can be reactive, a dog that can bite more because it hasn't gone through the bite inhibition training with its mother. There can be just so many other issues. And honestly, a vaccine on a puppy at 6 weeks of age doesn't really hold much. And if you get that first vaccine at 6 weeks, and then you get the next one at 10 weeks, and then the next one after that, you almost need one more. Okay, because it really is too early to vaccinate these dogs to get a really good antibody load on them.
Unfortunately, the majority of people that get puppies and buy puppies and get them from wherever don't know 1/10 of what you and I have discussed here, and a lot of these bad things happen.
Yes.
Because they just don't take the time. Okay, what are we bringing the puppies?
We're going to bring out the puppies.
Okay. Am I going to be attacked?
They might come visit you.
I knew that was
They might come visit you. They should.
I'll put this in my back pocket. Oh my God. Hi guys, good to see you.
This is Mama.
Oh my Lord in heaven. Wait, who's that?
That's Mama.
Oh, this is Mama and the 4 puppies.
Yeah.
How old are these little? Get down.
They're going to be 8 weeks old on Sunday. Off Dahlia. So this is Dahlia. And one thing I want to mention about females when they have puppies. A lot of people look at them and they say, oh my gosh, she has no fur. She looks, you know, because you can see she's basically blown out all of her coat. And she looks skinny. Now we keep our bitches nice and full in body. They're not too thin because we feed them a very nice high protein meal, and we want to keep their weight on so that they don't end up having issues with their own personal health, okay? But you will see that these dogs will give everything to their puppies, everything. So if you see one that looks a little skinny or looks like it's missing its hair, that's normal. That's normal. What's not normal is if they're not being friendly and everything else. And you're getting your shoes chewed on over there. Romil, do you want to take Dahlia back over
The
to...
cameraman has just about lost his shoes.
Hey, Dahlia, go over with Daddy. Good girl.
Let the puppies play.
Yeah. So...
That was the best. I wish everybody had seen that just now.
Yeah. So these
That was
guys...
worth it.
These guys are going to be 8 weeks old on Sunday. Hey,
Are they up for sale now?
I
Not yet?
actually have a waiting list for a number of my pups. And then as long as everybody gets the match
I
that
better
they
have
want.
one of them. I'll take the one in your left arm.
Okay, this is Fuzzy one.
I like Fuzzy. I like the face on Fuzzy.
This one we call Gadget. And this one we
Oh,
call
my
Ace right
Lord.
now.
Aren't you just the cutest little devil in the
And
world?
he's getting the shoes untied. So the cameraman's shoes are untied at the
I'm now
moment.
untied. You're a little devil too.
Yeah, he's
How
cute.
cute.
Yeah.
What do we have? How many boys and girls?
They're, actually, this litter is 4 boys.
4 boys.
We have 4 boys.
Oh, they are cute.
Yeah, they really are. And we get them used to like being handled by strangers, getting handled in any different way. We want what we call bomb-proof puppies. You going potties?
I'll take this one.
When they come from our house, they're mostly
Got 'em.
they're usually
You're
only
back.
take a couple of days to get housebroken because we've worked on getting them out of their pen frequently enough, so they go right in the yard to go potty. So they're keeping their pen clean.
Aren't you cute?
We start them out with some crate training already, so they're used to being in crates.
I've changed my mind. I'll take this one. You're a cool little devil.
That's the one we call Perot, and that's the one we
Perot.
call Clouseau. These are all named after inspectors, just for the fun of it.
Oh, my Lord.
Inspector Clouseau.
Yeah,
Oh, this one is really cute.
they're all cute.
I know,
mean,
but I
come
like
on.
this one. This one's a cuddler.
But I'm cute
You're-
too!
Oh, yeah, you're possessed. Oh, how cute.
So they're all brown eyes on this particular litter.
Are they born, the color of eyes are born with, is that the color of eyes they always have?
Well, you don't see the eyes until they're about 13 days old.
But after that,
Yeah.
so they don't change. Well, I was shocked to learn that Dalmatians are born white and then get black spots. I
Right.
didn't know that.
Yeah. The thing with Siberians, like this dog was born a lot lighter color. You see the darker.
So they all have that down the back. Almost
Yeah,
like-
well, that's kind of an indication of what the guard hair is going to look like when it grows up. So the
okay.
guard hair, you'll see it start ticking or start showing up later down here in the coat, and you'll see it's already starting to get a little like black tips down here.
Oh, I see that.
Okay, so you'll start seeing all the black tipping. There's black tipping on the ears already. There's a little bit on the forehead here. You'll start seeing that come through. This dog will not be black. He will be gray and white with a buff undercoat.
This is why people don't play with puppies. Because when you play with puppies, then you want puppies.
Yes, yes. Well, the other
I
thing
don't
is,
need any more dogs.
yeah, they're super, 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 super adorable, and it's like
All
you know,
puppies
you
are
know, I
cute.
know, but it's still like with the Siberians, they're like, oh, look at that, it looks like a little wolf, I want to get it. It's not really meant the dog for anybody. So the other thing Siberians all have, and then it's this little black spot on their tail.
I noticed that.
Yeah, it's like where the scent gland is.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
is that like
there's
that
a-
on all dogs? Is that what the scent gland is
I
on all
honestly
dogs?
don't know about every breed, but on Siberians, it's still there.
Yeah.
It's like a.
My dog has a little bit different color right
Yeah.
about there on him. Maybe that's what
Right.
it is. I'll have to check that out.
And you know the other thing about you know knowing that
I
you're
better hold this one.
knowing that you're getting a dog from a breeder that is interested in keeping the breed going in getting better and better dogs is we never place our dogs with any particular person or assign a dog until about 8 weeks of age. And the reason for that is I don't know what their temperament is 100%. I don't know what their structure is. I don't know if I have the show quality puppy or anything until 8 weeks of age.
Do you pick the owner for the dog, or do you pick the dog for the owner?
So what we do is
A lot of people do that.
yeah, what we do is we have an application that we have
cute.
people fill out, and we want to know what you want to do with the dog.
Right.
So if you tell me that you have a family of 6 people and there's lots of kids that are going to be coming and going, I want to make sure I give you a dog that is not going to mind a bunch of kids.
Right.
Now you may like one that looks a certain way in the litter, but that may not be the best match for you personality-wise.
And you have probably determined that by 8 weeks of age.
By 8 weeks of age, we have a really good idea as to what dog has the best potential for showing, for obedience, for sled dog racing, for just being a pet.
I think that's what most breeders do, something. Most good breeders.
Yeah.
What about you? Do you think you want to come home and live with me? No, I don't. I can't take you.
Yeah, and then it also, you know, if they have other dogs or do they have cats, you know, and stuff. So we try to evaluate, you know, the personalities of the dogs. Pop-ups.
Okay, now we're on to the next thing. We're going to show everybody what else is, we want to show all the other dogs.
We can show the other dogs, and we can talk about, you know,
Everything else we've forgotten.
everything else we've forgotten. We could set up a blower and show you what it looks like blowing out a Siberian, so you could see the total embracing of fur.
And have it all over me.
Oh, you can stand aside.
Okay. We're going to go off to the next thing while the cameraman here is taking pictures of the little crew over there getting in trouble. All right, now we're in the kennel area for your, how many are in here, 18?
No, in this area we have 14 dogs.
Okay. Well, we're going to have the cameraman also take pictures, and we're going to go down through here and show everybody. So you use sawdust on the ground. You've got exits that can go out to the play area, which we're going to show them.
We have a floor drain so that when we wash down the kennel, we can drain everything through.
Nice.
Inside this building here, there's a vent fan up above, so we keep the airflow circulating. These windows over here are darkened right now just because of the summer sun. We don't want it to heat up the building, but you'll see we have temperature gauges on both sides of here so we can make sure that the dogs don't get too hot. We have fans set up through here because this building is partially below grade. The cooler air from the back of the room comes through the front of the room, and we're able to keep a good temperature. So every day, 4 times a day, these dogs get exercised in the yard. The nice thing about that is they use this area for potties much less, or not at all.
But they have to be exercised by you opening the door for them to go out. You don't have
Correct.
in and outs. Will
Right.
you ever put the in and outs in there, do you think?
Do I have what?
Do you think you ever put in and outs in the kennels?
We thought about doing in and outs. The thing is that this particular building has concrete walls, and so it would be a lot of work to do in and outs. And the other thing with the in and outs, though, is that, you know, in our other property that we had predominantly outdoors, and we would get the raccoons, possums, snakes, all these critters coming in. And honestly, you know, Siberians are great hunting animals as far as killing vermin. And I just got tired of cleaning up the vermin, you know, that would get in the kennel and stuff. So this also protects them from all the elements. So if we have a really bad storm, we know that they're safe and clean and dry. And because there are a lot of our show dogs, if we had an outdoor run and they were getting dirty outdoors, then I'd have to re-groom them a bunch more.
How come there's a
doghouse or a,
yes, a plastic kennel in the one?
The old guy that's laying in front of it right now, he's just one of those dogs that likes to have his little cubby hole space. All these dogs love crates. I mean, we crate train all of them. They travel in crates. We never leave them loose in the car.
Right.
And we've bred all of these dogs. We have 2 basic pedigree lines here. We have a show line and a racing line. Now, to be honest, there's really not much difference between the two, other than obviously the show dogs have a prettier, fluffier, you know, whatever look. Structurally, we want them to look, you know, look the same. This boy here, he comes out of Igloo Pack and North Wapiti lines. These go back to some sled dog lines and stuff. He has great leader potential. He just turned 2 years old. We'll be using him as a leader on our team for training sled teams. Deegan, that's enough. This guy here is a wheel dog. He runs in the back of the sled because he likes to dig in and he has a lot of power. Chance, the one that's back there that's laying down, he's 11 this year, so he'll be retired from the main team.
He gets to ride on the sled.
Yeah, but you know what? He wants to go so bad that we'll take him on a bike. There's something called bike juring that you can actually get on a bike with a line out in front and have your dog pull and run on that particular line. And that's awesome. The dogs love it. And it's a great way to train leaders. And so all of these dogs here will eventually, or at some point in their life, have run or will be running on teams. Again, we bred all these dogs here. They're all from different pedigrees. We started out with, you know, dogs from friends of ours, so we'll bring in a stud dog from a friend's house, or from some, like this boy here, his owner's stud is out in Colorado, but it had a pedigree that matched well with ours. He's beautiful. We can't wait to get him in the show ring. We think he's going to be doing really, really well.
That's the one that's walking to the back there.
Yeah, yeah. He's like the wolf gray looking one here.
He really does.
He's got a great temperament and everything else. Remember when I talked about the party eye? This one's got the party eye, and I don't know if you can zoom into him. See that eye and that little bit of blue in it?
Right.
So it's got the brown and the blue. So it's sort of a bi eye in the sense that it's brown and blue, but it's party eye because it's got that little slice of pie.
Who determines what kennel they're in? What determines that?
Yeah, so we put them in according to who they play well with.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but we will mix it up from time to time just so that they don't get accustomed to one dog, because we want all of our dogs to be able to go in the yard and play together. We don't want any arguments or fighting or anything like that. Siberians, when they're working on a team, they're supposed to work together, not supposed to argue. So this is Vera and Santana.
And the one back here, really light color, the one over there.
Yeah, really so she's a light red. That's T'Pol. And then this is Stevie, and Stevie is almost like a silver gray. And then those two are out of racing lines there.
The two in the back.
Yeah, so that's Asti and that's Rita. And Rita's brother is Doc. Asti is Rita and Doc's mom. Asti is also Bublé's mom. And
I can't get over that they're not barking and going crazy.
Well, they did when we first walked in.
Yeah, but they're not now.
No. And when we go to release them to play, they're going to bark because they're all excited. Because remember I said to you, like the Siberians in normal, like you'll hear the woo kind of sound. They will go into a howl every now and then to the little chorus for about 30 seconds. And then as far as barking, it's mostly the excitement. But this house, you know, when we moved here, this was all set up. And this was just the perfect home for us and our dogs, and it allows them to be safe. And
oh, it's unbelievable. I can't imagine what this is like.
Yeah. So we're really happy with this. Chance.
All right, let's get them outside.
So this is a different colored one you haven't seen before.
Yes, he's really different colored.
Yeah, so this is Chance. Chance, come here. I know he's an old guy. He's like, yeah, I'm just going to lay here.
No, I'm not going to get up.
He is a Goody genetically, and he's got what we call the intensity gene, and it gives him that sable coat that you're used to seeing in the collies. It's a very odd genetics. There aren't very many of them like that out there. But we don't breed for color. We don't breed for whatever. We just happen to get him.
Right.
Okay, so we would not perpetually breed that to make money or anything. Actually, I chose not to breed him because he actually ended up with an eye infection, and I don't want that to be something that gets passed on to some other lines.
They all have the mask.
Well, they can have a mask. Some of them do. Yeah, these guys do. But you over here, like, if you look at Vera, you know, she's got the widow's peak.
Right, the widow's peak, yeah.
Okay, but her face is more open.
Right.
And then Stanza, who's the lighter gray one down there, he's also got more of an open face. Puppies will be born with the eye masks. And like she had an eye mask, this one had eye masks, they had goggles, and goggles disappeared when they got older. So what you see as a puppy is not necessarily what you're going to see as an adult.
Okay, let's go out. Let's let some outside. We'll show them the outside area.
Okay.
So you and I were talking before we were on film, but you have the one area that we were in whenever we did the beginning of the program. Then you've got two areas outside here.
Yeah, so the house dogs and the puppies will play over in that area because we keep them separate from the other adult dogs. Plus, if I go to a dog show, I don't want to bring some dog show crud back to the puppies. So everything's separated so I don't have to worry about puppies getting sick from one of the show dogs.
Does Cagney live in the house?
Cagney will live in the house. Right now we have a little bit of construction going on, so they're not there now. But Cagney, Ethan, Gretel, they're all in the house. They're all well-behaved house dogs. And everybody gets a turn. Like they're not stuck out here forever.
Oh, so you keep on switching them in and out. Okay,
yeah.
That's important.
Except
that's
Cagney
important.
has to be in all the time because
Cagney's
Cagney runs,
special.
Cagney rolls. Yeah, she thinks
Cagney's
she's
very
special as special could be. You know?
Okay, let's go outside. We'll go outside on the fence while we move us, and then we'll let some out.
And you'll notice that when we're out there, what we've done is we've separated the yard into two sections. We have the girl yard and the boy yard. Most of that is so we don't have an accidental breeding. You know, we want to plan every litter that we do and pick the sires. We don't want our girls deciding who they're going to go on a date with. All right, we're ready.
We're ready.
Oh, okay, thank you.
boys. Oh, don't jump on the camera and the cameraman. Come on. Come on. Come on, get, come on. Come on. Ah, and he's gonna get your camera.
Now, Laura, do they ever
Get
fight
out of there,
here?
come on, sorry. No, we'll hose off the camera. Come on, guys, come on, hop. Come here, Spock. Hi, there he is. Good boy. Hi, Dot, hi, Chance.
And here come the girls. Turn your camera there, cameraman.
Guys, come on. Come on, Deegan. Hi, Q. Brr. You grumbling, Chance?
How often do you put them out? They go out once a day?
4 times a day.
4 times a day.
At least, because you know, one in the morning, one midday, another one before dinner, and then one after dinner.
And
Yeah,
then
so
you
they
go
get
in there and
free
clean
run
up all that
multiple
while they're
times a
out.
day. Deegan, come here.
And that's what I do at
Deegan.
the bark park. Put
Deegan.
them out and clean it up.
Hi, Doc. Who's a good boy? Buble. Come on. That's a good boy. Hi. Are you a good boy? Are you a good boy too? Huh? Rocky, you're all shedding, buddy. Guess you're gonna get your coat blown out.
Oh,
for
look
the...
at that back end.
Yeah, well, he's gonna be the demo dog for blowing coat. I kind of left his fur in so you could just see the whole experience. Come on,
And
Deegan.
then I can eat dog hair on the whole way home.
I can put a hat on you. Hi,
No,
Deegan.
that's all right. I'm used to it.
Hi, buddy. Yeah. So yeah, they like us to be out here with them. They get a little bit of a one-on-one attention in a group setting, I guess, is a way to describe it. You can see coat coming out on some of them. We do get a chance to play with them out here. The yard is secure, keeps other animals out, keeps them in. We like letting them out when the woods are hitting the shade on the yard.
How old's this one?
Buble, he's 2.
He's the young one.
Is he?
He's a teenager, and he's got that racy body build.
He sure does, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah. Smart dog. Troublemaker.
Vieira's a singleton right here. She's a real troublemaker.
She's very pretty.
Yeah.
I get to show her this weekend.
Oh, do you?
Canton, Ohio.
Do you show them too?
Definitely.
Both of you show.
Sorry?
Both of you show them?
Yes, we do.
Yes.
We both race. We show.
Oh,
We
my
can
goodness.
barn hunt.
All right, let's get them in.
Yep.
It's hot out here.
Yep, it is hot. What do you guys?
Now you can go with me to the other building, right?
Well, we're going to groom here.
Oh, okay, all right.
We can groom inside.
Okay, fine. Whatever you want.
We'll groom inside. It's cooler.
Stay.
Get the girls first.
Come here, go.
Let me let them in first. Come on, guys. Come on. Come on. Come on.
Now, do they know what kennels they're going into?
Yes. They will actually, they know pretty much which one's theirs.
Peter.
They do like to go visit to see if there's any goodies left in the other kennels.
Okay, cameraman, let's go on to the next thing. Okay, Laura, we're now in one of the facilities where we just showed the dogs and the dogs outside. Let's talk about the blower and let's talk about who's here
Yep.
and arm and all that stuff and
Yeah.
what we're going to do.
So, all of the dogs, when we wash them and bathe them, we need to dry them thoroughly. Also, there is the issue with when you have a lot of hair, that can be a lot, and you can see this guy, he actually has lots of tufts coming out. You can see these little things coming out here. He's probably got loose coat all the way through here. And being an older dog, he's not real happy about being combed for long periods of time.
Right.
And he's 13 and a half, and he's like, you know what? I'm done with the combing. I'm done with the grooming. But He doesn't mind the blower. We already talked about that.
And you don't have to use a comb or a brush at the same time. You can just use the blower on this.
You can just use the blower.
Okay.
And this particular blower here, I happen to have a Metrovac, which is a dual engine, so it has 8 horsepower of power. There are other brands like K93.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of other brands of blowers. We do recommend that if you're going to invest in, if you're going to have Siberians, either go to a groomer or invest in this for blow drying your dogs if they get wet. I mean, obviously, you know, if you have a nice, cool, air-conditioned house, maybe they get less likelihood of hot spots and whatnot. But, you know, definitely this is a way to do it. I have a beekeeper's hat that I usually wear when I'm doing this.
A beekeeper's hat?
Yes.
Because you're not going to eat all that fur.
I don't want to eat all the fur.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so because if anybody's seen the movie Edward Scissorhands, you remember the scene when they're clipping the hair and the hair's flying everywhere?
My God.
That's what happens when we're grooming the Siberians.
That's what I need.
This is the best thing in the world.
What made you think about that? Or you've always had one, or?
I got tired of eating hair.
Eating dog hair. It's already on me. I'll be mauled when I get home.
So I'm going to do a demo here. If you want to step back and not be covered in fur, I'm going to put on my little hat. Rocky here is going to get a bit of a bath.
All right.
Or not really a bath, but a dry shampoo. Nah, well, I don't need the smock. I'll just wear the hair.
Do they have this thing about wanting to, I want attention, right? When the paw comes
Yeah,
up.
they want attention.
I know, life is tough.
He's like, I know I'm going to get blown with a blower. I'm not thrilled about this, but I'll do it. All right.
Okay, I'm going to move back, and we're going to, you do it with the bee hat. You crack me up. I hope you're getting a picture of this bee hat.
It's the only way to do this.
Oh, I can't believe it. I'm impressed. Okay.
All right, so you're not really going to hear much from me, but you're going to be able to see what's going on. Okay.
Oh my God, look at all the fur coming off the pants back there. And when you're doing that, of course, you also pull out a lot that was in that back section.
Yeah, so it'll loosen up the coat really nicely. You can see I'm wearing some hair. That's why I blew myself off afterwards.
I know, and I'm going to be wearing more of that in a minute.
Yeah. Now, I am definitely not done with this particular task on this dog. I still have a lot of hair coming out, but you saw it. It literally looks like hair is flying everywhere.
Oh my God.
And so if you have multiple Siberians, and for that matter, a lot of other breeds of dogs with double coats, this is a great way to dry them and get all of that coat out. We typically would do this outside. When we're done here, we take a leaf blower and blow it outside for the birds.
Right.
Yep. So all the birds are happy after we groom a Siberian.
Now, who do we have here again?
This is Rocky. 13
okay, this is Rocky. How old is Rocky?
13 and a half years old.
Okay.
Best lead dog we've ever had. He's awesome.
Did you hear that? Should I write that down because she gave you a great compliment? Huh?
Yeah.
Should I? Well, it has been an experience being here. I can't get over it. I'm so glad that we did this. Oh, no, I have more than enough. My fur is a little bit longer than that.
Right.
Thank you so much for letting us come here.
Ninkasi
Siberians, Laura Anderson, and your
husband is Romil Limson.
Okay, it's been fantastic. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's been great. Again, if anybody has any questions, they can contact you. You have a Facebook page,
I have a Facebook page that says Ninkasi Siberians.
Okay.
You can contact me through that page if you have any questions about the breed. I'm a member of a lot of the clubs in the area, so if you want to connect with Siberian Husky...
you're it.
Well, I mean, I could just connect you to others that might be more local. I encourage people that want to look outside of this general area. Go to the shca.org. That's the Siberian Husky Club of America. shca.org. That's the website for the Siberian Husky Club of America. There's a page that's called Breeder Referral, but it's not just breeders. It's a referral for members all over the United States. So if you want to get involved with dog clubs, dog sports, you want to do
Anything.
fast cat, you want to do barn hunt, you want to do agility, you want to do anything with your Siberian, that's where you're going to find the people that are doing the same things.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. This has been fantastic. I loved every minute of it, and thank you so much for doing this.
You're welcome.
Thank
It's
you.
a pleasure.